Okay.
Okay, so this is just Visual Studio Code that I'm operating this in, but then I'm also using the interactive platform on Visual Studio Code, which uses a sort of a Jupyter Lab, I think. Okay, it's not really Jupyter Lab. I don't. Yeah, it's Jupyter server that
How do you
uses.
connect to that?
So that's what
How
it
do you
uses. But
connect the Jupyter Lab?
so it's just an inbuilt function. So what I did was to I right clicked on it and then okay, no, it's well, I can't see my screen properly. So I think if I click okay, so I can click run current file in interactive window.
Okay.
And so so this on the left hand side is the actual Python file within Visual Studio Code. If I do run current file interactive window, that's when it brings this on. And so it connects to a Jupyter server. So what you can do on Jupyter online, on the Google Chrome or on your browser, you're able to achieve here. But anyway, so the thing I wanted to just the thing I wanted to present today is just on the visualization technique and data analysis one that I came across. So I got data from Cargo, Pima Indians diabetes data set, and this is a normal function that just gives you the head of the data, and this is it here. So I put it in this is just like Jupyter something. You put the code in here, paste it in, and then it runs. And then when you have an actual output for it, it releases the output here. So in this case, this is the data. It's well, it's been well, what's it called? Well processed and done in that detail. Now, the big man in the house is actually this code, and it's profile report. And I imported that from Panda's profiling. So Panda's profiling is a very powerful tool, I think, because it does incredible things, very incredible things. And it sort of does maybe, I think, 90% of your data analysis, or at least it just makes you see things already without doing, I mean, what you would do is just putting in this code, profile report of your data frame or of your data set. The line of code it would take you to do this result would probably be, I don't know, maybe like 30, 35 lines, 40 lines of code. And you do it in just one line of code. It's incredible. And what it does is it's able to give you an overview. It gives you the analysis of each variable. And here you find all the variables. There are 9 of them, you see? And it gives analysis of each variable, and you can actually toggle details, and it gives you even greater detail. It's incredible, really incredible. And so you can begin to spot things just by looking at this. And so for all the 9 variables, you have something, the age, and you can go closer into anyone to see things. And here you can realize that more people who are at a particular age, for this is the age, this thing, more at a particular age, or more frequently with, I don't know, with the zero, what's it called? With the zero and zero outcome, which means that they do not have diabetes. And then so each of them like that. And you can just go in detail and first of all, know whether there's anything wrong with that particular data variable. So you can see here, it says that missing for the outcome, there's none missing. So this is also a place where you can begin to find out things like where your missing data might be. And so this just that line of code does all of this for you. And then it also gives you an insight into interactions between your variables. Now that's so important, because if you are able to spot that, like all your data analysis is pretty much done. Like you just need to find out maybe a better way to analyze that particular particular variable or particular phenomenon in your data. And so you can click on this. So you want to find the interaction between glucose, for example, and the diabetes pedigree function. And this one tells you that generally high glucose, you at first glance, you probably can't see anything. And you're wondering, okay, this is just data that it's just, there's no real connection between both of them. But if you go on to skin thickness, for example, and BMI, skin thickness and because that's BMI sounds skin thickness, you can begin to see immediately that there is a rise when the BMI is increasing, the skin thickness is increasing, all these BMI is increasing because the skin thickness is increasing. One of those things, but there's a correlation between them, and you can always tell that. And then you can also look at age and, let's say, let me see, age and I thought there should be outcome here, but anyway, age and let's say BMI, it doesn't show a real interaction because it might not matter whether the person is old and they have a high BMI or young, doesn't matter. But blood pressure and age, for instance, you see that the higher you go, you see that this thing is linearly, well, there's some form of increase, not particularly, but it tells you that it's not necessarily the case, but it also tells you also at the same time that the lower the you find more people, more of the younger people are concentrated along this natural one. But you have, as you go high in the age, you also see that the blood pressure is increasing for some people. And so you can just look at those things and look at all those interactions. And so from that point, you begin to wonder which interactions are important to you or which interactions you want to zone in on. So I think that line of code is so important. Very nice to have, very handy line of code.
Thank you very much. The asset I'm looking at is that have you, or the other visualization report
Yeah.
is part of the script, right?
Well,
So
which one is that?
because it's the visualize the codes which under the comment of visualization report is what now give what it came out with, each of those things. Like you see the marker color, you see the outcome, you see the plot graph, plot two, plot L express, or they are just an algorithm that if I take this as that code now and I change the CSV, right?
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. If
It's
you
going
take
to
this code,
highlight any of them.
this thing that I've highlighted here, right? This 5 lines of code that I've highlighted, if you take it and paste it anywhere, all you have to do is to change this directory here or the CSV file name. If you have your own CSV file name, that the data is well processed like this particular one, it will generate the same thing for you. Generate the same thing. I can't hear you again.
Maybe you should send this script to me. Then
Okay, no problem.
try it with some CSV with me and see how the aspects of my data that it will bring out and how it also do the same thing for other data. You know, the data will become meaningful to me if it's a familiar.
It's a familiar data set. Yeah.
But what I would do is let me try it with some data and then try to see what that one visualize to. Yeah. So if you send this script to me.
Okay, I will send the script to you. So after this this thing, it's already saved. So I'll just look for it and send it. And okay, so all you need to do is just change this the CSV part
Exactly.
and change it to your own data set.
And
so yeah, but but this line of code, this lines of code from line 7 to 36, they do something else, which is after this. Okay. And so yeah, I just it was just the creation of this pie chart to show the outcome across the place, and you can see that most people do not have the diabetes. this thing, and you have just about
Instead
35.
of doing it one by one and using plots and map plot to say I want to check the graph, I want to check the histogram, it just generates everything at
This
once.
thing
Then
is
you can
so
start
powerful
interpretation and analysis from what it has generated.
from what it has given you. It gives you a lot of insight. Like you just, it digs into the data, and you know what's going on there. And so
And
this one is just to generate. Yeah.
you were using PyCharm before. Was it
Yes.
using before?
Was it what? I can't hear you.
Was it Visual Studio you were using before, PyCharm?
No, I was using PyCharm.
But now you have changed to Visual Studio.
Yeah, I've changed to that. The thing is, I have both. I have more than I have PyCharm. I have Visual Studio Code.
Yeah, that's what I did.
But I
thought an Panda.
Yeah, exactly. But I started using PyCharm, but I was running into some trouble with PyCharm, or PyCharm didn't do what I wanted it to do. And so when I came here, and then I realized that I can even have an interactive window here that just runs the thing as if I'm on Jupyter, Jupyter notebook. This is much more, much more interesting. I prefer it that way. So that's why I think I like Visual Studio Code.
I will swap to Visual Studio Code, and then
I like it.
and
It's
so
really
that
nice.
at least when we meet next.
Yeah. So yeah, this one just does this, and then there's also, because at this point we have realized the interactions, and we know which things interact with each other. In fact, this is one such graph, and tells you on here, you see, so the higher the number, the higher the correlation between those two items. And so when something is, the bluer it is, the bluer that box is, then the higher the correlation between those two items. Yeah. So between age and pregnancies, there seems to be a correlation, and that's something that you might want to find out by looking at the data more closely.
And have you considered bringing the data out from the interactive to a PDF format?
PDF? What do you mean PDF?
How to print it out for
you mean the report?
Yes, or to report it on a
so you mean page. This report here on the right hand side, or the data
report itself? How to take it out of the Visual Studio environment?
Okay, I haven't let me see, I haven't explored that.
Maybe you can explore that, so that even if it's to publish the thing on a web page, or to get it in a PDF format, so that one will be able to know, okay, whatever analysis one has done. Because one of the major things that I would like to do with that is, first of all, to try a lot of data with this and bring them out of here for discussion and interpretation.
Yeah. So I will look into that and see, but I haven't.
Okay, at least we have done something today, and.
But yeah, so that's that about that really.